biology is such an interesting phenomena when we think about the human body. I wanted to show you a little bit about some anatomy because obviously that's a part of science as well, fits into that biological category. But obviously I don't have access to human body parts, but I do have access to parts of a pig. A pig has a very close proximity in terms of the way the anatomy works in terms of the main parts of the body. So today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the different body parts, and these are pig parts, but they are very similar to human parts, and obviously the ones that we are going to look at we all have as humans. So this first one we're going to look at today is a liver. Very similar to what your liver is today, a human liver. A liver is a chemical factory. That's what it is. It filters chemicals out of your body. It filters out all of the junk that you shouldn't have in your body, and it filters out all of the things that need to be removed from your body. It's full of enzymes, and those enzymes will create a product called bile. And bile is stored in your gallbladder, and that's what this little fella is here. That's this little pouch. Everybody has a gallbladder, and it stores bile, and that bile comes out into the system. You see the little tube here, comes out into your system, and that bile helps with digestion. It helps break down the fats. It turns those fats into sugar, which are digestible. The body can't absorb fats, and so when the bile turns those fats into sugar, then they are digestible. So the gallbladder is an essential part of your digestive system. But the liver itself, as I said, is a chemical factory. It takes out the impurities, and it breaks down all of the other parts that are not good for you. It breaks down the red blood cells so that they can turn into hemoglobin, which is the red part of the blood, and goes back into the blood then and makes your blood nice, pretty, and red. It's full of iron, which is obviously an essential part of your body. That's why if you eat liver, whether it be chicken livers or beef livers, or in this case pork livers, it has almost an iron taste to it. If you've eaten beef liver, it has a very obvious iron taste to it. Pork liver is not nearly as much. But that's why when you need to eat more iron, and sometimes you need iron supplements, and people take them in vitamins, but also you can take them by eating, or you can add that iron to your system by eating liver. And it's because it is full of iron, which gives it this reddy kind of color that it has. The liver has different lobes. You can't really see that when they butchered the beef or butchered the pork. They cut the other lobe off, so this is just part of it here. But it comes in different lobes. When you think about the body, this texture of stuff, and I know you can't really tell much about it because you can't feel it, but the texture of stuff is very hard to sew. That's why if you have an accident of some sort that causes your liver to be ruptured, it's a very tedious process because it's very hard to sew and get to stay. The material is not easily sewn together like other parts of your body in a surgery. So if it's ruptured, it can be very serious. When people have problems with their livers, they can obviously you can have a liver transplant, but you can also donate part of your liver to someone else. Obviously you do have to have a liver because it takes care of all of those things that need to be filtered out of your body, but you can donate part of your liver and it will regenerate what you gave away if you donated part of it. Sometimes family members will do that if there's a problem with someone else in their family. Lots of diseases associated with the liver. Many of them you can understand about. Lots of babies have what's called jaundice, which means that they're born, their liver has not started functioning enough yet, and they'll be born, or when they're first born, will have sort of a yellowish tinge to their skin, and that's because their liver is not functioning well, and so it takes a little while for that liver to start functioning well. You know people, I'm sure, that have had hepatitis. Hepatitis is when your liver is not functioning correctly. You probably heard of people that have had cirrhosis of the liver. Too much drinking, you can have cirrhosis without excessive drinking, but that's the usual cause of it. But those are some of the common diseases that come with having problems with your liver. But a liver is an essential thing in your body. The gallbladder, and lots of times you'll hear people having their gallbladders removed. Obviously this is a pig one, so it's probably a little bigger than a human's, but about the same size. But the gallbladder has that bile in it that makes your digestion a little harder if you do have to get rid of your gallbladder. Obviously people have gall stones, and that can be a problem as well. You can see that a gallstone would have trouble going down that little tube right there. So you can see why sometimes people have to have their gallbladders removed. So part of human anatomy, pigs' anatomy is very similar to a human's, and so that's why we used it today. You could do the same kind of lesson without the actual liver. I happen to have access to a local slaughterhouse who occasionally will let me use some of their internal parts, which is where I got this today. But you could do a big graph of the internal organs of a body, a close-up of what these particular parts are, and do the same kind of lesson in anatomy. So, the liver, it's important.